Hey there and welcome to After Work. My name is Valentine, and in this channel we talk about various data science topics that are important when you're starting out your data science career. If such topics interest you, be sure to subscribe to this channel. So today we're going to be talking about top 5 data science skills, and these are just fundamental skills that you need to learn as a data scientist. So whenever you're interested in, if you're interested in learning data science and are wondering where to start, these are skills that you need to ensure that you have acquired in order to become that data scientist or even data analyst that you would want to be. All right, so let's get started. The first skill that you need to acquire when it comes to learning data science is data collection. So data is normally stored in different places. It could be stored in relational database management systems. It could be stored in systems which are not necessarily what I've mentioned, relational, but it could be that they've been stored in maybe document oriented database management systems or even graph database management systems. So the first skill that you need to learn is data collection, and a good place to start learning data collection would be to learn SQL or SQL, mainly because a lot of data that organizations usually have is usually stored in relational database management systems, and SQL is usually the language that's normally used for working with relational database management systems. If you would want to further learn how to collect data from other different types of database management systems that aren't relational in nature, then you can always consider first of all learning how to work with SQL, and later onwards learning to work with those other types of databases. There are many of them. There could be MongoDB, there's GraphQL, there's Cassandra. There are quite a number of them, but those ones normally work with specific types of data that may not necessarily be the first kind of data that many organizations tend to adopt. So thinking about data collection, start off with SQL. It's going to help you work with quite a number of relational database management systems, such as MySQL, such as SQL Server, such as Oracle, such as PostgreSQL. All right, so let's continue to the next skill. The next skill that you need to learn is data exploration. So once you've collected data and you would want now to use that data for answering some research questions, then you would need to perform data exploration, and data exploration allows you to be able to figure out the structure of the data that you're working with. It helps you to understand whether the data that you have is going to be important in your further analysis. So when it comes to data exploration, if you're working with a language like Python, you would need to learn a library like pandas. So you need to understand how to work with the pandas Python library in order to perform data exploration tasks in Python. If you're going to be working possibly with R, then you need to learn how to work with a deep layer package, which is another package that works more similar to how pandas works, but of course in a different context in the R ecosystem. The third skill that you need to learn would be data analysis. So once you have explored your data and would now need to perform some data analysis, maybe create a summary table of the data that you're really interested in, assuming that you had 5 to 10 different columns and you are only interested in coming up with a summary table for only 3 or 4 of those particular columns within the data that you're working with, then you could use the pandas library if you're working in the pandas in the Python ecosystem, or you could use deep layer again if you're within the R ecosystem. So learning how to work with pandas for data exploration and data analysis would also be quite important. Within the Python ecosystem, working with pandas works well. within the R ecosystem, then the deep layer package works quite well. The fourth data science skill would be data visualization. This is a way for you to be able to communicate insights to the relevant stakeholders. If you're still again on the Python side, you might want to learn something like Matplotlib, which is the basic Python library, Seaborn or Plotly for interactive visualization using Python. But if you're on this other end, on the R ecosystem, you might want to learn something like ggplot2 or even Shiny for creating interactive dashboards. So if you would want to ensure that you're communicating insights with regards to data science, you need to learn data visualization. The fifth skill that we would recommend that you learn would be data modeling. So assuming that you wanted to create what are called models, and models usually help you to make predictions, and this is actually what data science is quite known for. If you want to make a prediction to know what's going to happen in the future using the current data, then you need to create models, and data modeling is a skill that you need to also learn. Not all data science problems require you to perform some sort of prediction, but that's why we put this particular skill at the very end. But learning about it would be important because sometimes you might come across such problems that business stakeholders would want you to address. So when it comes to data modeling, on the Python end, you would want to learn how to work with the scikit-learn or sklearn library, which is quite popular for providing you with what are called algorithms that would help you create the machine learning models, or the models that would make predictions for what you're interested in within your data. And you could also learn some other advanced libraries once you've learned how to work with the sklearn. You might want to work with something like what is called PyTorch or TensorFlow when it comes to the Python end. But on this other end, with regards to R, you might also want to learn how to work with the Caret package. All right, so basically that's it. Those are the top 5 data science skills I would recommend when it comes to learning data science. So starting off with data collection, data exploration, data analysis, data visualization, and data modeling. All right, so that's it for this video. If you did like this video, if it was informative, be sure to give this video a thumbs up so that other persons who might also be interested in learning the same could be recommended by YouTube. And if you'd like to get informed of future videos such as these, we're going to be posting quite a number of videos in the coming few months and in the future. Be sure to subscribe, and see you in the next video.